You just confronted someone about a clear lie, a broken promise, or a memory that feels undeniably real. But instead of an apology, you get this: that never happened. You're imagining things. Are you feeling okay? And suddenly, your own memory, your own sanity, begins to feel shaky. You find yourself questioning everything. This isn't just a disagreement. This is the insidious art of gaslighting. And it's happening to millions right now. The term gaslighting didn't just appear out of nowhere. It comes from the 1938 play and 1944 film, Gaslight, where a manipulative husband slowly convinces his wife she's losing her mind by subtly altering her environment, dimming the gas lights and hiding objects, then denying anything is amiss when she notices the changes. He makes her doubt her own perceptions, her own reality. What was once a theatrical plot device is now a recognized and devastating form of psychological abuse, leaving victims disoriented, anxious, and deeply unsure of themselves. Dr. Robin Stern, a psychoanalyst and author of The Gaslight Effect, describes it as a systematic pattern of psychological manipulation that makes a person question their own sanity, memory, or perceptions. It's designed to erode your trust in yourself, making you increasingly dependent on the gaslighter's version of reality. The terrifying thing about gaslighting isn't just the intent, it's the invisible weaponry. The gaslighter doesn't use fists, they use words. Specific phrases designed to disorient, invalidate, and control. Recognizing these phrases is the first crucial step to dismantling their power and reclaiming your truth. We've analyzed countless real-world scenarios, studies from institutions like the University of Michigan, and clinical observations to pinpoint the 7 most common phrases in the gaslighter's playbook. Phrase 1, that never happened / you're imagining things. This is the blunt force trauma of gaslighting. It's a direct assault on your memory. You remember a conversation, a promise, an event with perfect clarity. But the gaslighter simply denies it ever took place. I never said that, they'll state with a calm, unwavering conviction that makes you second-guess your own brain. They might even add, are you sure you're remembering correctly, or your memory isn't what it used to be? This isn't just forgetting, it's a deliberate rewriting of history. In a 2018 study published in Psychological Science, researchers found that repeated exposure to contradictory information, especially from a trusted source, can significantly distort an individual's memory, even for vivid events. The gaslighter exploits this vulnerability. Have you ever expressed genuine hurt or anger, only for someone to dismiss it with, "You're too sensitive"? This isn't just a casual remark, it's a powerful gaslighting tactic. Imagine you say, "Your comment really stung." And their immediate comeback? "Oh, come on, you're so sensitive. It was just a joke. You always overreact." This phrase instantly invalidates your feelings, making your emotional response the problem, not their behavior. It shifts the blame, trivializes your experience, and trains you to suppress future emotional reactions to avoid being labeled too sensitive. It makes you question if your feelings are even legitimate. It's a psychological trick designed to shut you down, making you believe your emotional compass is broken. Phrase 2, you're being completely irrational / you're overreacting. This phrase attacks your logical processing and emotional validity. You might present a perfectly reasonable concern, backed by evidence, but the gaslighter will immediately label it as irrational or an overreaction. There's no need to get so worked up, they might say, even if you're speaking calmly. Or, you're making a mountain out of a molehill. The goal is to make you doubt your own judgment and emotional responses. They want you to believe your reactions are disproportionate, illogical, and therefore, wrong. This subtly implies that they are the rational ones, and you need to defer to their perspective. Phrase 3, I never said that, you heard me wrong. This is a close cousin to that never happened, but it specifically targets auditory memory. You distinctly remember words being spoken, a specific promise made, or an instruction given. The gaslighter denies it, twisting the blame onto your listening skills. You must have misheard, they'll insist, even if you repeated it back to them at the time. This tactic is particularly effective because verbal communication is inherently transient, unless recorded, it leaves no physical trace. They exploit this ephemeral nature to rewrite the past, eroding your confidence in your own perception of spoken language. Ever been caught in a situation where you're trying to address an issue, and suddenly, you're the one apologizing? That's the gaslighter's blame shift masterclass. Their favorite line, "If you hadn't done X, I wouldn't have had to do Y." Or, "You made me do it." This phrase completely absolves them of responsibility and places the burden of their actions squarely on your shoulders. It makes you responsible for their behavior, for their anger, for their mistakes. This insidious redirection of guilt leaves you feeling like the perpetrator, even when you're the victim. It's a classic move to avoid accountability and keep you on the defensive. Phrase 4, "You're crazy / you need help." This is perhaps the most devastating phrase in the gaslighter's arsenal. It's a direct attack on your mental stability. When they can't deny, dismiss, or deflect, they pathologize. By calling you crazy or suggesting you need help, they're not expressing concern, they're trying to isolate you and delegitimize everything you say or feel. If you're crazy, then nothing you perceive or express can be trusted, not by yourself, and certainly not by anyone else. This is a tactic often used to prevent you from seeking external support, as they've already planted the seed that your complaints stem from a mental illness, not from their abusive behavior. This leads to profound self-doubt and can make victims genuinely question their sanity, a cruel echo of the original gaslight premise. You confront someone about a hurtful comment, and their response is a quick, dismissive "Can't you take a joke? I was only kidding." This is a classic gaslighting retreat. It's designed to make you feel foolish for reacting, implying you're the one who lacks a sense of humor. The gaslighter uses "just kidding" as a shield to deliver thinly veiled insults or manipulative statements, then escapes accountability by trivializing your hurt. It teaches you to second-guess your intuition about what's genuinely offensive versus what's playful. And every time you question their joke, you reinforce their narrative that you're just too serious or don't understand humor, slowly eroding your self-trust. Phrase 5, "Everyone agrees with me, you're the only one who thinks that." This phrase weaponizes social proof and isolates the victim. The gaslighter claims to have a consensus that doesn't exist, making you feel like an outlier, an anomaly, or even delusional. "Even Sarah thinks you're being unreasonable," they might say, even if Sarah has never heard the details of the situation. This creates immense pressure to conform to their reality, as the perceived disapproval of everyone is a powerful psychological motivator. It exploits our innate human desire to belong and be accepted, making you doubt your unique perspective and convictions. You start to wonder if there's something fundamentally wrong with your understanding, when in reality, the gaslighter is simply fabricating a false narrative of widespread agreement. Phrase 6, "Why are you always bringing up the past?" This phrase is designed to shut down any attempt to hold the gaslighter accountable for previous actions. When you try to discuss a pattern of behavior, a broken promise from weeks ago, or a consistent issue, they immediately deflect by framing your attempt to seek resolution as an unhealthy fixation on the past. "You need to let it go," they'll insist, or "Why can't you just move on?" This prevents any meaningful discussion of their repeated transgressions, ensuring they never have to acknowledge their faults or change their behavior. It also creates a psychological trap. You're either obsessed with the past or you let their harmful actions slide, leaving you with no avenue for addressing ongoing problems. This is perhaps the most insidious gaslighting phrase, "I only did it because I love you," or "if I was doing it for your own good." This phrase weaponizes affection and twists it into a tool for manipulation. Imagine someone has betrayed your trust, violated a boundary, or acted selfishly. When confronted, they flip the script, claiming their harmful actions were actually an act of love or concern for your well-being. This forces you into an impossible position. How can you criticize an act supposedly done out of love? It makes you doubt your own judgment about what constitutes caring behavior, blurring the lines between genuine affection and controlling manipulation. It's a psychological knot designed to keep you entangled. Phrase 7, "You're the problem, not me." This is the ultimate projection, the gaslighter's final stand. After exhausting all other tactics, denial, invalidation, pathologizing, they consolidate all blame onto you. Every issue in the relationship, every conflict, every negative emotion is attributed to your flaws, your character, your problems. If you just changed X about yourself, everything would be fine, they'll assert. This phrase serves to completely absolve them of any responsibility for their actions or the state of the relationship. It's a complete reversal of reality, forcing you to internalize their dysfunction and perpetually seek to fix yourself, rather than recognizing their abusive patterns. This final move leaves the victim feeling utterly worthless and responsible for everyone's unhappiness, including their own. Recognizing these 7 phrases is more than just identifying bad communication, it's recognizing a deliberate pattern of psychological manipulation designed to make you doubt your own reality. The gaslighter thrives on your confusion and self-doubt. To reclaim your truth, you must first trust your gut. If something feels off, if you constantly feel confused, anxious, or like you're going crazy, pay attention. Your internal compass is often the first thing the gaslighter tries to break. Here's how to fight back. 1. Document everything, keep a journal, notes on your phone, or even send yourself emails detailing conversations, promises, and events. Dates, times, specific quotes. This external record becomes an undeniable counter-narrative to their attempts to rewrite history. 2. Seek external validation, talk to trusted friends, family, or a therapist. Explain what's happening. An outside perspective can help you ground yourself in reality and confirm that your perceptions are indeed valid. Gaslighters often isolate their victims precisely to prevent this. 3. Set boundaries. When you hear these phrases, respond calmly but firmly. I remember it differently. My feelings are valid, regardless of whether you understand them. I will not discuss this if you continue to deny my experience. You don't need to argue or convince them, you just need to state your truth. 4. Disengage. If a gaslighter refuses to acknowledge your reality, disengage from the conversation. You cannot reason with someone whose goal is to make you question your reason. Walk away, end the call, or change the subject. Protecting your mental health is paramount. Understanding the gaslighter's playbook isn't about becoming paranoid, it's about becoming empowered. It's about developing the emotional intelligence to spot these insidious tactics and the strength to protect your reality. You are not crazy. Your feelings are valid. Your memory is real. Reclaiming that truth is the most powerful act of defiance against a gaslighter. The gaslighter's game relies on making you doubt yourself. But what if there were specific psychological triggers that could expose their lies in real time? And if you think these 7 phrases are powerful, wait until you discover the 3 subtle body language cues that instantly reveal a manipulator's true intentions. That's coming in our next video. Don't miss it.